Alright, Schlockmeister fans, we're going to watch teenager Cindy Knock on Shortston, otherwise known as Barbara's Escapades, otherwise known as Tight Fit, otherwise known as Cindy's Love Games. Let's watch them all. Our movie starts with trouble and intrigue. But guess what? It's only role playing. Meanwhile, this is Barbara, played by Cindy Ledbetter. That was her husband who was in that little sex game there.
That I can see.
She is getting wooed by somebody else on the dance floor.
Oh, Stephen, I've always been fond of you, but I don't love you. I love Sergio. Last month.
Here's Barbara talking to a friend of hers.
For Sergio.
Problems? Have you had a row?
No. He's been gone 3 days and he hasn't even telephoned me once. I want you to tell me where he is.
I think there's
Sergio calls his fiance Barbara.
But I've been very lonely.
But if your work went off well.
I was lonely because you weren't there. And I couldn't even call you on the phone, Barbara.
And when do you reckon you'll get back here in Rome, dear? Would you let me come
Meanwhile,
up with
that
you?
cheating cad Sergio found
Promise
another
me, good
woman,
girl?
a
Why not?
hitchhiker
Do I
named
look
Sylvia.
like some sort of bad girl?
Come on.
You really have a stereo?
Earphones too.
Big flipping.
What's that?
Oh, well, I don't know. I think it sort of means like you're going to have a good time.
So he lets her in and she makes a mess of the place and dances.
You!
All this mess here.
Took me forever to find a decent record. All you have here is this classical music. A thing or two. You just lie.
And you can see where this is going to go eventually.
Do the tiniest thing, all right? I'm going to demonstrate how a little girl like me can be more of a slut than any of the most experienced whore you might know.
But that's just the point.
She wants to meet
If I
again.
don't make her suspicious, you can come here whenever you like. Come on, let's get this place cleaned up. She mustn't find a hair out of place.
But Barbara comes over and catches them sound asleep together. Although she doesn't seem completely overly upset, as you'd think she might be.
What, not drinking?
Instead, she serves them tea and puts salt in it.
What the hell's in the coffee?
It's salt. So you don't like my coffee?
It's fucking awful.
Let's see him talk his way out of this one.
You are a bitch.
Perhaps.
Anyway, you must know that despite appearances, which I do admit seem against me, I haven't done anything with that girl. Between us.
I don't
Instead,
know, but I'll
she
soon
must have
find
sex
out.
with him.
Let's make love.
I'm worn out.
By your trip or by her?
Oh, for God's sakes, Barbara.
And you? Do you intend
I don't think
to let
Barbara
me get away
believes
with it?
him.
I intend not to, but I'm not going to tell him anything. What I want to do is to make a cuckold out of him. The biggest cuckold ever made out of an Italian male. And I know how to go about it.
Barbara meets someone else in a club.
Fuck me.
The two of them stand and make out for a while, but she never even takes her panties off, as you can see. So nothing really actually happens. Later on, she meets somebody else.
Whose house? Yours or perhaps mine?
Are you being serious?
I've never been more serious.
Right, I'll put the burglar alarm on then.
So she gets ready, puts a little perfume all over herself. Never really takes her clothes off, though. She will, however, do a sexy dance for him.
At least let me give you a kiss.
Yes, but not with your hands.
When I make love
Sergio's got another woman, by the way.
No, I love her, and you're fond of her, and we're not in love with each other, right? Just sex. That's it.
He then gets mad at her for some reason. Meanwhile, Barbara gets involved with a threesome with a man and a black woman. I can't show you much of this scene. Barbara seems a little unfulfilled by the experience, though.
Matched.
And the threesome guy tells Sergio what happened.
The little dogs. I'll have you know Barbara's a very nice girl.
I agree with you. She laid down like a perfect lady.
Filthy swine, open the door!
Why?
Because I'm gonna smash her face in!
That's just what I suspected. I have no intention of opening the door.
Open up, let me at you!
I loathe the spilling of blood.
Here she is dancing with some guy. And great camera angles here. They keep showing her panties.
Look,
The guy wants to keep her.
A garden full of oil pumping rings.
I prefer rose bushes.
Okay. So when I return to Rome,
No, Arceus. I love someone else. And I'm faithful.
But she does decide to have one final fling with him.
I don't give a shit! I'm too concerned with the fact that my woman's the biggest slut in town and worried about people sleeping on her. Goddammit, now listen to me, you little bitch. I'm gonna...
Sergio's not happy.
You're a whore. You're a tramp. You're a slut. You're a slut.
And that's our movie. All right. Now, this movie here. I originally taped this movie off of cable back in 1989. Maybe it was under the title Cindy's Love Games. Later on, I was able to get a copy of a VHS tape. It was a bootleg tape, actually, of a UK pre-recorded VHS tape under the title Tight Fit. Later on, I got my own pre-recorded VHS tape in America, put up by Private Screenings under the title Barbara's Escapades, which is kind of the version I used here. And then, of course, there actually is a DVD, a PAL DVD in Italian language only, under the title Teenager Sind noch ans Schönsten, which is actually German. It says here it's in Deutsch, Sprach, and Italienisch, but not English. So anyway, I didn't watch the PAL DVD. I watched the English version under the title Barbara's Escapades, which I dubbed onto a disc. So anyway, the movie itself, it's basically a sex, I don't want to say it's a sex comedy because it's not a comedy, but came in from 1979. It's this woman named, it's interesting, the movie is Cindy's Love Games. You'd think the character's name is Cindy, but no, her character's name is Barbara. Cindy is actually the actress playing her, Cindy Ledbetter, and she's not like some super big famous actress. She's maybe like a dozen things, exploitation things. She wasn't like overly famous, but nonetheless, Cindy's Love Games. So here we go. Anyway, so Cindy is engaged to this guy named Sergio. Sergio's a bit of a cad. He's off flying around the world, doing whatever he's doing. I'm not sure what his job is actually, but he seems to bed women wherever he goes. Meanwhile, he comes home to Rome, and Barbara comes in and catches him in bed with this other woman. They weren't having sex; they were just sleeping at the time. He says, no, in spite of how it looks, nothing actually happened, which isn't true. Nonetheless, she decides she's going to start cheating on him then. A cuckold is what she called him. So she's going to sleep around a little bit, which she starts doing. She doesn't do a whole lot of it. In fact, most of the time she's just like teasing. She's not really having sex with a lot of people. She just kind of goes through the motions a little bit. But anyway, she does have sex a few times. Sergio, meanwhile, continues to have sex with people too. They're both having sex with others without the other ones knowing what's going on. She eventually gets involved with a threesome with this black woman and this other guy. And then the guy ends up having a conversation with Sergio later on He was at the door, but he wouldn't let him in, saying how great she was, this and that. And Sergio's furious, of course. Then when Sergio gets a hold of Barbara, he's very mad. He almost pulls her out of the car, and he calls her a slut and everything else. But then she starts making the moves on him, and next thing you know, they're kissing in the corner, and that's kind of how our movie ends. So I don't know, what a film, right? In spite of the tawdriness of this film, there's not really a whole lot of nudity. There is some. There's full frontal nudity from Barbara as well as a few others in here. I don't think there was any male nudity now that I think about it, but I wasn't interested in that anyway. But yeah, there's a few nude scenes, a couple of shower scenes. I don't know how you would describe this movie, a sex drama? I don't know. It wasn't that great, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, these movies were only made to just showcase the beautiful women, and that's what they do, and they did it well. So anyway, you can get this PAL DVD from overseas. I don't know. These are really strange DVDs. They're like books almost. They're really thick. They're like really solid. I don't know what it's not cardboard. It's not. I don't know. It's a nice case. And the back pictures I can't really show you, but I got like 4 of these, and they're usually pretty pricey when you find them on eBay. But the ones I have, I needed. So anyway, that's it. Cindy's Love Games. I'm guessing nobody's seen this movie. Nobody watches this garbage but me, right? But anyway, I'm glad I have it. And if you can find it, watch it. Check it out. Leave some comments. Cindy's Love Games.